Welcome back to the deep dive. As someone who's deep into immunology, I'm sure you know T helper cells are, well, really important to our immune system.
Oh, absolutely.
And today we're diving deep, really deep on a specific subset, Th17 cells.
Yeah, okay.
They're pretty fascinating, because they have this kind of dual nature.
Right.
They play both hero and, well, potential villain in our bodies.
Yeah.
We'll be using this great article from Assay Genie as our guide.
Okay, great.
So let's dive in. Now, I know you're already familiar with the basics, but for the sake of our deep dive today, can you just remind us what makes Th17 cells so unique?
What really makes them stand out is their ability to produce interleukin 17
Oh, right.
or, IL-17.
Right.
And it acts like a signal flare,
Mm-hmm.
alerting and rallying other immune cells to fight off infections.
Yeah.
Especially those pesky fungal and bacterial infections.
Yeah, IL-17. It's crucial for our defense, especially at those vulnerable mucosal surfaces like our gut and lungs.
Oh, sure.
But how do these Th17 cells even, come to be in the first place?
Right.
It's not like they just appear out of thin air.
Oh, definitely not. They have quite a journey, actually.
Yeah.
Their
Okay.
story begins with naive T helper cells,
Okay.
which are kind of like the undifferentiated stem cells of the immune system.
Right.
They have the potential to become, different types of immune cells.
Yeah.
And their transformation into Th17 cells is guided by specific signals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like a cellular boot camp.
Cellular boot camp.
Yeah.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So what are these signals that push them down the Th17 path?
Well, it all boils down to a fascinating interplay of cytokines.
Okay.
Those chemical messengers of the immune system.
Ah.
Two key players here are TGF-β and IL-6.
Right.
Now, think of TGF-β as a mentor, capable of guiding naive T helper cells down two distinct paths,
Okay.
becoming either regulatory T cells,
Yeah.
the peacekeepers, or Th17 cells,
Oh, okay. Got it.
the warriors.
So they can kind of go either way.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that the presence of IL-6 is what actually determines which path they take.
Oh, wow.
It's like a fork in the road.
Yeah.
And IL-6 acts as the signpost, directing them toward becoming those warrior Th17 cells.
So if researchers could find a way to manipulate the levels of IL-6,
Right?
could that potentially be used to prevent autoimmune diseases?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's something researchers are actively looking into.
Well.
If we could somehow control those levels,
Yeah.
we might be able to prevent those naive T helper cells from becoming Th17 cells when they're not needed,
Right.
thus reducing the risk of an overreactive immune response.
That's incredible. Just imagine the possibilities. But how does IL-6 actually exert this influence?
Right.
I mean, it's not like it's literally whispering instructions.
No, not quite whispering,
Okay.
but it's triggering a cascade of events inside the cell.
I see.
You see, IL-6, along with another cytokine called IL-21,
Okay.
activates a protein called STAT3.
Uh-huh.
Now, think of STAT3 as a switch.
Okay.
When flipped on by IL-6 and IL-21,
Right.
it triggers the production of RORAT,
Okay.
the master regulator of Th17 cells.
Master regulator. That sounds like a pretty important role.
Oh, it is.
What exactly does RODONT do?
Well, RORAT is a transcription factor,
Okay.
which essentially means it controls which genes are turned on or off within a cell.
Oh, wow.
It's like the boss
Uh-huh.
dictating the cell's entire destiny.
Right.
In the case of Th17 cells, RORAT is absolutely essential for the production of their signature weapon, IL-17.
Oh, wow.
Without RORAT, you simply wouldn't have a fully functional Th17 cell.
So it sounds like RODS is calling the shots, ensuring the Th17 cell stays true to its identity and function.
Exactly.
But the article mentions other players besides ROA, STAT3, IR4, and BATF.
Right.
What are their roles in all of this?
Well, they're definitely not just sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Each of them plays a specific role in shaping the Th17 cell's identity and function.
Uh-huh.
STAT3, as we discussed, is vital for initiating the production of RODA.
Right.
And then IRF4 and BATF are like the fine-tuners,
I see.
working alongside ROTA to ensure the smooth and efficient production of IL-17.
Wow, it's amazing how all these different factors work together to create a T17 cell.
It's fascinating.
It's like a well-choreographed dance.
Exactly. And what's even more fascinating is that even after a T17 cell is fully made,
Yeah.
the environment around it,
Okay.
particularly the cytokine environment,
Right.
continues to influence its activity and stability.
Really?
Yeah, it's a dynamic process.
I thought once a cell differentiated, its fate was like set in stone.
Well, not necessarily.
No.
The surrounding environment plays a crucial role.
Okay.
Take IL-23, for example.
Okay.
It acts like a survival coach for Th17 cells,
Interesting.
supporting their proliferation and ensuring they can effectively carry out their tasks, fighting off infections.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a supportive friend cheering you on.
So IL-23 is essential for them to function properly.
Yes.
But what about when things, go wrong?
Right.
Are there any mechanisms in place to prevent Th17 cells from becoming overactive?
Absolutely. There are definitely checks and balances in place.
Okay.
Certain cytokines like IL-4 and IFN
Yeah.
act as brakes on Th17 development.
Interesting.
They're like the voice of reason,
Okay.
ensuring the immune response stays balanced
Right.
and doesn't go overboard.
Right.
Remember, too much of a good thing, even when it comes to immune responses,
Yeah.
can be detrimental.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's all about maintaining that balance,
Right.
making sure our immune system is, strong enough to fight off infections,
Mm-hmm.
but not so strong that it turns against us.
Right.
And that brings us to the other side of Th17 cells,
Okay.
their potential role in autoimmune diseases.
Right. The villain side. It's fascinating and a little bit scary how these cells that are meant to protect us
Right.
can sometimes become the source of our problems.
It really highlights the complexity of the immune system.
Yeah.
When everything's running smoothly,
Mm-hmm.
Th17 cells are kept under tight control.
Right.
Their activity carefully regulated to prevent any harm.
Okay.
But sometimes that balance is disrupted.
Right.
It could be due to a genetic predisposition,
Yeah.
or even environmental factors.
What happens when that balance goes off kilter?
Right.
How do Th17 cells shift from protectors to attackers?
Well, we're still uncovering all the intricacies,
Okay.
but we know that when the immune system gets thrown off,
Right.
Th17 cells can become overactive,
Uh-huh.
producing excessive amounts of IL-17.
Okay.
And as we've discussed, IL-17 is a powerful inflammatory signal.
Right.
Too much of it can trigger chronic inflammation,
Yeah.
a hallmark of many autoimmune diseases.
So it's like the immune system gets stuck in overdrive,
Yeah, kind of that.
constantly sending out inflammatory signals,
Right.
even when there's no real threat.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing their firepower on invading pathogens,
Uh-huh.
these overzealous Th17 cells mistakenly attack the body's own tissues,
Right.
leading to the damage and dysfunction we see in autoimmune diseases.
The article mentioned a few specific examples of autoimmune diseases linked to Th17 cell dysregulation.
Yes, there are several,
Yeah.
and they're all incredibly complex.
Right.
But some of the most well-known are psoriasis,
Okay.
rheumatoid arthritis,
Uh-huh.
and inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD.
It'd be great to kind of dig into those a bit.
Sure.
Could you explain how Th17 cells are thought to be involved in each of those conditions?
Okay, so let's start with psoriasis,
Okay.
a chronic skin condition
Right.
that causes those red, scaly patches.
Right.
In psoriasis, Th17 cells accumulate in the skin
Uh-huh.
and release a flood of IL-17,
Wow.
triggering inflammation and causing skin cells to grow too rapidly,
Right.
leading to those characteristic plaques.
So it's like they're creating a localized inflammatory storm, like right there in the skin.
Precisely. Now, with rheumatoid arthritis,
Okay.
Th17 cells go after the joints,
Right.
causing inflammation and damage to the cartilage and bone.
Uh-huh.
This leads to pain, stiffness,
Yeah.
and over time, joint deformities.
That sounds incredibly painful and debilitating.
It unfortunately is.
Yeah.
And then we have inflammatory bowel disease,
Okay.
which includes conditions like Crohn's disease
Right.
and ulcerative colitis.
Uh-huh.
In IBD, Th17 cells are key contributors to chronic inflammation in the digestive tract,
Okay.
causing a whole range of symptoms like abdominal pain,
Right.
diarrhea,
Yeah.
and rectal bleeding.
It seems like in each of these cases, the Th17 cells are essentially misfiring,
Right.
attacking the body instead of protecting it.
That's the core issue.
Yeah.
And the consequences can significantly impact a person's quality of life.
Right.
That's why understanding the role of Th17 cells in these diseases is so crucial.
Yeah.
It's not just about understanding the disease itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's about identifying potential targets for new therapies
Right.
that can help regulate these cells
Okay.
and restore balance to the immune system.
It sounds like a challenging task,
It is.
but also an incredibly important one.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
But there's hope.
Oh, good.
Remember how we talked about IL-17 being like a signal flare?
Right. Right.
Well, researchers are exploring ways to disrupt that signal, essentially blocking the inflammatory cascade that Th17 cells can trigger.
That's fascinating. So they're trying to intercept the message
Yeah.
before it causes all that damage.
That's the idea.
Okay.
And there are other approaches too,
Yeah.
like targeting specific molecules involved in Th17 cell development or function.
So it's like finding a way to reprogram those cells,
Right.
To dial down their aggression.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's all about fine-tuning the immune response, making sure it's strong enough to defend us without turning against us.
We've talked a lot about the potential downsides of Th17 cells,
Yeah.
but let's not forget their crucial role in protecting us from infections.
Right. We can't forget about the hero side of these cells.
Yeah, of course.
They're particularly important at those mucosal surfaces
Okay.
we talked about earlier,
Right. Right.
acting as our first line of defense against those pesky microbes
Yeah.
that are constantly trying to get in.
So back to those vulnerable entry points.
Right.
Can you remind us how Th17 cells help to keep those invaders at bay?
Sure. So think of our mucosal surfaces,
Okay.
like the lining of our gut or lungs,
Uh-huh.
as the front lines
Okay.
in the battle against invading pathogens.
Right.
Th17 cells are like the specialized troops stationed there,
I see.
ready to defend against specific threats. They're especially good at combating fungal and bacterial infections.
Right.
You know, those tricky microbes that try to breach our barriers.
So they're like our internal border patrol,
Yeah.
always vigilant.
Yeah, exactly.
What are their tactics for keeping those invaders out?
Well, they have a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
First, they use their weapon of choice, IL-17,
Right.
to call in reinforcements.
Okay.
IL-17 acts as a distress signal, summoning neutrophils,
Yeah.
the rapid response units of the immune system.
Oh, wow.
Neutrophils are excellent at engulfing and destroying bacteria and fungi.
Yeah.
So they're essential for clearing out those infections.
It's amazing how this all happens on a microscopic level,
I know.
yet it's so crucial for our overall health.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Th17 cells do more than just call for backup.
Oh, really?
They also help strengthen our defenses, making those barriers tougher to breach.
They're boosting our fortifications.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
Well, they do this by stimulating the production of antimicrobial peptides,
Okay.
which are like tiny weapons embedded in the barrier itself.
Right.
They also promote the growth and repair of the epithelial cells
Right.
that make up the barrier, ensuring it stays strong and intact.
Wow. It's like they're playing both offense and defense in the fight against infections,
Exactly.
stalling in the troops,
Right.
and bolstering our defenses at the same time.
Exactly. And that's why they're so important for keeping us healthy.
Yeah.
They're essential for keeping those pesky pathogens at bay,
Right.
especially at those vulnerable entry points.
So they're really walking a tightrope, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Essential for our protection, but with the potential to cause harm if things get out of balance.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Their differentiation process is remarkably complex,
Right.
involving a delicate dance of cytokines and transcription factors. And while they're crucial for a healthy immune system,
Right.
their dysregulation can have serious consequences.
Yeah. It's incredible how much is going on at the cellular level.
I know.
That we're, usually completely unaware of.
Right.
These tiny cells have such a huge impact on our health, for better or worse.
It really does highlight how complex and interconnected the immune system is.
Yeah.
And it also underscores why understanding these intricate processes is so crucial for developing effective treatments for a wide range of diseases.
It makes you realize that just, knowing a certain cell type exists isn't enough.
That's not enough, no.
We need to understand how it develops, what controls its activity, and how it interacts with other cells and molecules in the body.
Absolutely.
That's where the real breakthroughs will come from.
Exactly.
Speaking of learning, given everything we've uncovered about Th17 cells, their dual nature, and their potential for both, good and harm, I'm curious about the future.
Okay.
What possibilities do you see for harnessing their power while minimizing the risks?
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
And it's one that researchers around the world are actively investigating. One promising avenue is developing therapies that specifically target the pathways involved in Th17 cell differentiation and function.
Right.
Imagine being able to fine-tune their activity, boosting their protective effects against infections, while simultaneously reining in their inflammatory potential in autoimmune diseases.
It would be like having a dimmer switch for the immune system, adjusting the intensity to match the situation.
Exactly. And there are already some promising therapies in development.
Oh, wow.
Targeting specific cytokines or transcription factors involved in Th17 cell biology.
Right.
For example, some therapies aim to block IL-23, which we discussed earlier as being vital for Th17 cell survival and function.
Right.
By inhibiting IL-23, researchers hope to dampen the inflammatory response in autoimmune diseases without compromising the body's ability to fight off infections.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot. It's that balance between immune activation and suppression.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balancing act.
For sure.
But the potential rewards are enormous. If we can successfully harness the power of Th17 cells while keeping their potential for harm in check, it could revolutionize the way we treat a wide range of diseases.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the world of Th17 cells.
It really has.
We've learned so much about their development,
for sure,
their role in immunity, and their connection to autoimmune diseases.
It's amazing.
It's mind-boggling to think that these microscopic cells play such a significant role in our health.
It really is a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and the importance of continuing to explore the intricacies of the human body.
And for our listeners, if you're eager to delve deeper into this topic, I highly recommend checking out the full article from Assay Genie.
Definitely.
It's a treasure trove of information about the fascinating world of Th17 cell differentiation. As always, thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a new topic.
Sounds good.
So stay tuned.
Okay, great.
Until then, keep those brains curious and keep exploring.